Good afternoon. We invite you to please be seated.
Check 1, 2. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Deborah Simmons. I'm a member of the Arts Committee here at Christ Church Cathedral. And on behalf of all of the wonderful staff, wonderful people who are here, we welcome you. We welcome you. It's my sincere pleasure to welcome you and introduce you or celebrate the 2024 Cathedral exhibition, Divine Strokes, God's Colors. And without further ado, I'd like to bring forth my committee member, Rich, to introduce the artists.
Good afternoon. Better? Okay. My name is Rich Paraglia. I currently serve as the Vice Chair of the Congregations Committee here at the Cathedral. If you're not familiar with what Vice Chair is, if you're familiar with vestries, I'm kind of like the junior warden. If that still makes no sense to you, I'm kind of like the Nancy Pelosi for the Cathedral. So welcome, and as Dean Lena always says, welcome to your Cathedral. I'm just giving you some housekeeping things, and I believe Dean Lena is going to do the introductions. So to the rear of the cathedral are the restrooms, men's rooms, that side, ladies' room, that side. And on each side, there's also one, I think the correct term is gender neutral on each side. Okay, so those are there. In case you're wondering what this is, I did not just go to CVS. This is our very high-tech method of marking paintings that you have bought. And I'm sure you're all going to buy something, because make great gifts. Valentine's Day is coming up next year, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, New Year's Eve. I checked the calendar, and I think next Friday is Hug Your Diocesan Bishop Day. He's ignoring me.
It's today, actually.
Oh, it's today, actually. Okay, that's fine. So if you purchase a piece of painting, a piece of work, very carefully tear off one of the stickers, put your name on it, and just put on the descriptions by each picture. Okay, that's it. And I turn this back over to Dean Howell. It's all yours.
Thank you so much, Rich and Deborah. We are so blessed to have an active Engaging the Arts team at the Cathedral. And thank you to Rich and to Deborah and to Marianne Vogel, our Director of Music, and to Gregory Simmons, who's not with us today. I know before we start, Marianne would like to introduce the musicians.
Hi, I'm Marianne Vogel. I'm the Director of Music here. It's a pleasure to have some live traditional Indian music, and I wanted to welcome Inesh, Sakshi, and Sumeda to our cathedral. So, wow. Thank you for the beautiful music. And after the artists have a chance to talk about their work, we'll give Sakshi a chance to also explain something about the instruments and the style of music that we're hearing today. So, thank you all.
Thank you so much, Marianne. And thank you, musicians, for the gift that you're giving us today. Before we start, I'd like to thank each one of you for being here today. Muchas gracias, bienvenidos, welcome, bienvenido. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of our Bishop Diocesan and our Canon to the Ordinary who are with us today. And our protagonist for the evening, our artist. I'd like to introduce the artist in a very unorthodox way. I could take their bios and give you all of the descriptions. One is a former Jesuit priest, very smart and intelligent. Another one is an architect. But I'd like to tell you, these two humans that are in front of you are solid people. They are spiritual, deeply connected to nature and to God and to themselves. And for me, that's the best description that I can have for the two of you. You two embody what it is to be a follower of Jesus. You two embody what it is to respect the dignity of every human being and to live in your authenticity. And I admire both of you so much, and I'm so honored that our cathedral has created a space to show how you live your spirituality through arts. So I introduce to you the Reverend Dr. Mark Basutti Jones and architect Joanna Jacob Kurubila. Welcome. The two artists have a few things in common. They are both Episcopalians, and they both were born outside of the United States. My understanding is that Mark was born in Jamaica, you can tell, and Joanna was born in, correct me if I'm wrong, Bengaluru, India. Hence, the Jamaican music we will hear later today, and the Indian music we're hearing today, and the food that is representative of their cultures and ethnicity that we are enjoying today. So thank you for all the richness that you bring to this space. We have questions for them, and then you will have an opportunity to ask questions as well. Could you share with us the inspiration behind the pieces that you're exhibiting tonight? Okay. Hope your mic is on.
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Well, thank you, Dean Lena, and all of you for being here to support us. And so the inspiration behind most of my paintings is from nature, pictures that I've taken from my morning walks, hikes, travels, pictures that my brother and father have shared with me. And for example, the frozen tree, if you've seen it, is a picture that my brother took in Toronto on one of his morning jogs. And the moment he shared it with me, I was just, I was struck by the colors of the picture, the landscape. And the frozen tree reminded me, for some reason, of the burning bush in the Bible, and how God talks. It could be a frozen tree or a burning bush, and God can still reveal himself or herself to us. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So that's basically some of it, mostly from nature. And then Georgia O'Keeffe, the American modern artist, has been a big inspiration. So the journey into peonies, the two abstract peony paintings, are inspired from her style of paintings. And her, and she has this beautiful phrase or a quote, when you hold a flower in your hand, that flower becomes your world for that moment. And that is true. You are in that present moment taking that flower in, and I was inspired by that quote. And then there is an acrylic pour at the way, in the corner, and other than choosing the colors for the painting, it was an attempt of me letting go of the control freak in me. So
good luck with that.
Very hard. So that's basically the inspiration behind the paintings exhibited here.
Thank you. Mark.
Well, first let me begin by thanking Dean Lina for her graciousness and hospitality, and also would like to thank the team that worked with her. You couldn't have a more caring, professional, and thoughtful team. So I'm very grateful to them, and it's great to be here with a true artist. I find your work so amazing. So, which brings me to what inspires me. Well, I'm Jamaican and I'm kind of half crazy. And I believe the greatest task in life and the greatest spiritual task is to pay attention. Pay attention. Open your eyes. Be aware of where you are, how you live, and pay attention to the vibrations and the movement of God's Spirit. And so I'm in church, so I have to tell the truth, right? I have no training in art. And I started painting about 2 years ago. And as I said, basically what I do is begin every moment of art by being still. Depending on the day, depending on the time, I'll just be still for 3 minutes or 30 minutes. And then I allow, this may make me sound more profound than I am, but I'm not profound at all. I just allow the Spirit to move within me. And so all these pieces, I never know how they're going to turn out. I'm never sure of what will happen, but I just allow myself to flow. And if the spiritual life and if life is about paying attention, then I also believe that life is about flowing. And that is what I like the most about abstract art. It's just like getting that paint on the canvas and allowing it to flow. And that for me is my experience of God, my experience of the spiritual life, and my experience of myself at the best, when I pay attention and when I allow things to flow and when I trust the mystery of life. Because, I'll say this, then I'll shut up. Never give a Jamaican a chance to talk. What I like about these paintings that I do is that they lean into the mystery. Because as you know, none of us knows what's going to happen 5 minutes from now, an hour from now, a year from now. And so these paintings for me demonstrate to me and remind me of the mystery of life, that we don't know where we're going, but we just have to trust the flow.
Amen. Thank you. So this question is for Joanna. How do you connect your art with your spiritual life?
Well, as you see, most of my paintings are nature-based, and so nature plays a very important role in my spiritual life. Just being in nature, walking, I feel nourished. And what it does is it puts things into perspective. Many times I find myself caught up in my own head and myopic in the day-to-day routine, and I fail to see or appreciate things around me. And when I walk, when I go out into nature, it just changes me. It changes me in the sense it gives me energy, and I feel renewed and energized to do what I need to do. So for example, we used to live in New London, and walking in the Arboretum there, the Connecticut College Arboretum, and walking along the path and being welcomed by the beautiful display of colors, the fall colors, it gives me a sense, of God's blessings right there in full color, in all its abundance. And then even being in we lived in Tanzania for a while, and visiting the Serengeti, which is a wholly different spiritual experience, but being there and observing the giraffes doing their own thing, munching leaves and watching out for each other, reminded me of the family and friends I have in my life, and being thankful. And so it's just, nature reminds me of the blessings I have, and I feel nourished too, yeah.
Thank you. Mark, are there any recurring themes or motifs in your work? And if so, what do they represent to you?
Recurring themes. On so many levels, every moment has been lived before, and every moment is different. So every moment has been lived before, and every moment is different. And so, for me, the recurring theme in all my works is that sense of trusting the Spirit, flowing with life, and a desire to get at beauty. Because I believe that beauty is in every moment. And so the recurring experience or the recurring motive for all my paintings, and again, you know, I sound more glamorous than I am because, as I said, I'm learning this thing as I go. It's like I have no training. You know, I'm kind of just making it up, and I like making it up. The recurring theme is, how do we arrive at beauty? How do we arrive at beauty? And as I said, for me, as a Jamaican, as a human being, as a priest, as a husband, and as a father, everything in my life responds to that question: how do I arrive at beauty? And so for me, and you know, we don't always succeed at what we set out to do, but certainly that is my goal. And I guess that's even how I know when I'm finished with a painting. If I step back, look at it, and I see the beauty in it. And again, as I said, I believe every human being, it's like your music, right? Like when you sing, you're trying to communicate beauty. When you live, whatever you do is an attempt to communicate beauty in the world. So for me, that is certainly my recurring theme, and definitely this emphasis that beauty comes in different shapes, forms, and as I said, as a madman, I like to do things that are so different that something will touch a different person, right? You may look at this and you go, nah, not for me, but you may. So my hope, my recurring desire is to arrive at beauty and to do something that will spark that same desire in any human being.
Thank you. Jonah, can you describe, how will you describe your artistic style or techniques?
Well, my artistic style right now is very realistic and very detailed. Having gone to architecture school, I can't help but notice details even in nature. And there was this German architect, Mies van der Rohe, who used to say, God is in the details. And that's very true. And while I focus on the details so much, and there is the big picture, right? And details, little details make up the big picture, and you need to go between the two. So it is that fine dance to go between the details and the big picture, and the big picture and the details. And so my artistic style is going between the two. And even in life, I think you have to do, it's that constant dance of looking at the details to get to your bigger picture, but there is beauty in both. Right?
Thank you.
And,
I have
yeah.
2 more questions before we move to the next thing. But Mark, how do you feel your cultural background or identity influences your art? You spoke a little bit of that in the beginning, but will you elaborate?
Anybody who hangs around me just has to give me like 2 minutes before I say, I am Jamaican.
Less than that.
That's right. So in that sense, I am so proud that I am Jamaican. It means the world to me. But you know, I hold that pride with reverence for every human being. If you are from the DR,
Yay.
you have to be proud. If you're from India, you have to be proud. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, you have to celebrate that identity and that experience. And so for me, all that I do flows from who I am. And I like to say, you know, I'm truly a man of color, you know, and that is why all my paintings are just splashed with a madness of color all over. And so, again, part of why my identity flows into my work is that realization that that's how we're made. And that's what we want to communicate. And I'm so happy to see children among us, because that is what I hope to communicate to. That no human being ever feels ashamed of who they are, who he is, who she is. Never be afraid of who you are and where you're coming from, because every single one of us has a place and a reason for being here. So I love to, you know, in my paintings and in the splash and in the madness and the craziness is that cultural experience of let it rip. Let the music out. Let everything out. Let the colors flow. And so that's how I would answer that question.
Thank you. Thank you. Joe, can you tell us about any challenges that you have faced while creating the specific pieces that are here today?
Well, challenges along with painting, you know, the challenge for the longest time has been finding the time or creating the time to paint. Now, since the little one, my youngest son, started preschool in September, I have, you know, on a daily basis about 4 or 5 hours to paint. And so I can no longer make that excuse. But like anything creative, you know, I go through moments of feeling lack of motivation, the self-doubt. What am I doing? Is it even worth it? And, you know, getting caught up in myself and my head, and then going out into nature and, you know, feeling rejuvenated, and I come back. So, but during those moments of feeling low, I've learned, or I'm learning, to just kind of stop everything that I do instead of pushing myself and just take a break, change up my routine, and then I find myself coming back and revisiting that piece with new energy and vigor. So, and doing the peonies with all the folds and the curls and everything and the shading, I got frustrated, but again, and I stepped back and took a break from it for a week or so, and then came back and I was rejuvenated to paint, yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
This last question is for both of you. Finally, tell us, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience about your art or creative journey?
Well, my creative journey started at a very young age, maybe 4 or 5. I used to go for art classes with my mother, and I painted during school and into architecture. I found that painting on canvases was very limiting. So I started painting on walls, making murals in my parents' home. So if you go to Bangalore, my parents' home, you'll see murals on many walls. And my aunt's wall in Fairfield. And so I've painted. I love painting. And when Dhruv was born, when he started getting older, I enjoyed doing creative stuff with him. And now with Kabir, we have this basement, and that's where it's our creative zone. And we just do things out of cardboard, whatever is lying around, recycled art. I'm big into recycled art. In 2015, when Dhruv started preschool, I started this little art and design business of mine called Joe's Space. Joe's Space and At Her Pace. So, which is basically, offering my creative skills to people, making handmade items, artworks, and also offering interior design services. And during that process, I was commissioned to do paintings. My uncle, I did some interior design work for my uncle, and he commissioned me to do 2 stained glass mosaic panels, and I'd never done mosaics before. So I learned, thanks to YouTube and Pinterest, I learned how to mosaic. So it's hanging up in the apartment building in New York. Ranjit's grandmom taught me how to crochet, so for a good long time I would crochet runners and vests and table mats, and crocheted rings you will find there. So I love crocheting, helps me calm down again and it centers me. Now that Kabir has started preschool, I have more time to paint, and I'm looking forward to seeing to experiment more and see what opportunities lie ahead. And thank you, Dean Lena, and to the Cathedral for this opportunity. 2 months ago, when Dean Lena asked me if I would be open to doing it, I hesitated. I was like, really? And I said, okay, I'll do it. This is out of my comfort zone. And thank you for the invitation, the opportunity, and that nudge, gentle nudge.
Thank you for the courage.
And to do it with Father Mark, what a privilege. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
See, thank you. See, Joe doesn't know this, Once I saw her work, I got so nervous. Because she's the real thing, I've never had an art class. And the more I learned about Joe's work, and we spoke a few times on the phone, it reminded me, I think Edgar Allan Poe says, there are 2 kinds of writers. One who writes with a fit, and one who writes with a fit. So the first fit is almost like an architect, Everything has to be designed properly, and everything has to be realistic. It has to fit. And then the other fit is like a fit of madness. So I'm kind of like the fit of madness, I'm like making it happen. But the other thing I would like to say, where's my wife, Kathy?
Right there.
All right, because I would say she is the real artist in the family. And I am always inspired by her pictures, her paintings, and her works of art. And then this I will say, I've always believed that anything I do in life is God using me to be able to say to another human being, you can do it also.
Amen.
So if I paint, you can paint. And the secret, or not the secret, or something about my paintings that you may not know. I've always had somewhat of a philosophy of name your price. So I've always said, if you want it, let nothing get in the way of you having it. And so, for whatever that's worth, make sure, ta-da! Amen.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much, Mark. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. Thank you both for your generosity of spirit and for your creativity, for offering yourselves to this space.
Amen.
Our exhibit will be open until May 19, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. each weekend. We encourage you to get all the arts done today. There is an instruction sheet for how to purchase the art through the QR code on Vemo. And if you are technologically challenged, please do come to Richard Baraglia, get one of those stickers and paste it on the description of the art so that you can secure that that art is yours. And we will make sure that we do the logistics behind the scene. Thank you for being with us this evening. There is non-alcoholic beverage and alcoholic beverage available in food. There will be more music, and we encourage you to mingle and to ask questions informally of both artists, and please extend the invitation to others to come through every weekend through May 19. Thank you for being here at your cathedral, and thank you for spending the afternoon with us. Please don't leave by art. Enjoy. Marianne?
Dean, it looks like he has a question.
And there's a question. Come here. Here's the microphone. Come here. Come here. Someone has a question. What's the question?
Did you paint your hat?
If you painted your hat.
I
The
wish.
question is if he painted his hat.
No, it's.
It's good to paint your hat.
I'm gonna
He
work on
painted
that.
his hat. He didn't paint his hat. He bought it painted. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And nothing. And we're gonna hear from the musicians.
Spontaneous.
My name is Sakshi Chawla. I'm here to submit an innovation on violin and English by Judah on Miranda. So the music that we've been singing and that we're going to keep singing is South Indian traditional music, which is also called as Carnatic music. We've all been learning for several years and we're students at Wesleyan University. And all the compositions that we've sang and that we're going to be singing are based on, or they're about different country gods and goddesses and are different melodic scales and rhythms. So we hope you guys have a good
Well done, Joanna. Good stuff. Yes.
Did you really paint your hat?
No, I didn't. I wish I did. I know. I That's right. That's right. I said you're fake.
I wish I did. Well, I wish I did.
Dorian, no thank you.
I wish I could. I wish I could.
No thank you.
Okay, Dorian, no thank you.
Echo after me.
Mr. Rich, can you help me make this disappear, please?
Before we get the wrong thing on Facebook.
Hello. 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 I love you too now. If you have a boyfriend and girlfriend, ask me, okay? Now, ready? Green button means watch. Hello, Will. Hey, come on. You little boy, get walk, monkey. Get walk, monkey. Get walk, monkey. He money. Okay, now. trusting me, trusting me.